All right, we're back. Hello, everybody. Man, I was really hoping the challenge bracket would be updated better than Team Liquid, but it's not. So, shoutouts to the folks on Liquipedia keeping us all up to date with the matches and results. Currently, though, we still don't have a match. We do have a couple more results, though, with people like Thermal advancing over Minato, and we'll see if any of those yield new games soon.
Soonish.
The problem is, at the same time, that there's not even a losers bracket to really jump into either, so we're going to be waiting for probably just a little bit of time. But, again, people are going to be getting their 3-0s and their 3-1s finished up soon, so as long as there's no really, really, truly long games, this shouldn't hold the brackets up for that long.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, if you guys missed any of our broadcasts and you're not subscribed to the channel, just a quick reminder / shout out to check out our YouTube. Joey said we finally hit over 9,000 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. So youtube.com/BaseTradeTV. VODs for this will be uploaded there, of course, likely, if not tonight, then early tomorrow. VODs from yesterday, from the Ting round of 8 are actually being uploaded as we currently speak. So again, Joey does a great job with our YouTube guys, and hopefully you can appreciate it. That being said, well, we don't know who we're going to cast. Do you have any hopes on who to cast? Any particular matchups that look like they might be super tasty?
Oh, such a good stretch. Tasty? Well, there's cakes in the game, so.
Ah, yes, that's the direction I was going. And that was on purpose. Definitely.
Good. Good then. Good. Nothing actually looks like super like a match of the century.
Well,
but
that's just Protoss games.
Hey, I get it. Thermal Wellmu might be fun. Yeah, I guess TLO versus like Bunny or Hero Marine. Yep.
Yeah, I can get behind both those.
Okay.
Looks like Dayshi and Xanster are going to be hopping into another game here soon. So we'll have to wait for that one to play out still. So poor MaNa, not going to have an opponent for probably another 15.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, since I had to help you with your problem.
What problem?
Your
I thought we weren't going to talk
Pokemon.
Okay, go
on. So my parents are going to a pig roast today, later. And
now,
originally,
are we talking like the sex move or like
the fuck is the sex move? No, it's like an actual pig roast. Like they get like a whole pig and they
go.
roast it on a spit.
Yeah, I think if you think about it, it's not too hard to figure out what that move is.
That's a terrible move. That sounds very uncomfortable. Anyways, so it's like at this basically a mansion, right? Like
okay, I think
like 30, 40 minutes.
You've talked about this before, yeah?
Yeah, because I went to the last one and I didn't. It wasn't really that much fun. I ended up like talking to the au pair for like a good hour though at the end, but she's gone now. She went back to Germany. So if I go, I get to have like really delicious food, but I'm like gonna die anyway. I'll just probably sit around though and talk to my mom and no one else. But if I don't go, then I could sleep and make myself a sandwich for dinner. So which one should I do?
Okay, alternate solution to both of those.
Okay.
So you love hanging out with your mom all the time, right? Obviously, you won't be able to if she's at this thing and you don't go with her. I mean, you're always with your mom.
No, but it's different, right? Like usually at parties when we both don't know a lot of people there, we just don't.
Well,
we just kind of sit to the side.
See, here's where my direction was going for this, right? Do you have like $20 you could spare, give or take?
Yeah.
Okay. Go to like a Walmart or a Kinko's, get a cardboard cutout of your mom. Give that to your dad to take to the party with him. Then say, "Mom," remind her that you're going to be moving out sometime soon, so there's a bit of a guilt, and she'll want to spend time with you, really, especially be like, and I just thought, before I move out, we could go see a movie together or something. You don't have to tell her that you're not moving out for months or something.
A movie yesterday.
And how great would it be to see another?
And
By the way,
like,
that just
like,
solidifies the whole you always hang out with your mom thing. Like, we just saw a movie together yesterday.
and it's like my mom's friends, not my dad's friends.
Oh, well, then, okay.
Super
Hear me out. Cardboard cutout of your dad. Give it to your mom. I think
You are great at this.
No, here's my real suggestion. All right, I think you should take a nap after the cast. You tell your mom, have a great time. You're not feeling so hot. You don't want to go. Make yourself that sandwich, whatever you're gonna do for dinner, and play Overwatch with Rifkin all night.
But you don't want to play competitive with me.
No, I don't want to play competitive with Olivia, and not because I don't love Olivia.
Oh wow!
But 45 is so hard.
Wow, she was fine when I played with her.
And I'm not saying
I
she
like
isn't.
babysitting with her, but...
I'm not saying she isn't. She's probably getting dragged down by Crank.
So mean.
But the point is, she still got dragged down, man.
Amazing. Okay, fine, maybe. Okay, I can do that. The thing is, like, I really don't eat that much, and there's so much delicious food. But then I have like half a plate, and then I'm done. It sucks.
I think okay, two things. First off, we have MaNa versus Dayshi perhaps coming up in a moment if you want to contact them. But hosting. I think an actual solution I have would be just simply, if you don't find yourself enjoying the hour or 3 or however long you spend at these things, don't spend the hour or 3 at it. Like, you drive, right? Take your own car. Go for like an hour with your mom and then just come back home after.
Yeah, I thought about that. I'm gonna drive like 40 minutes out.
Oh, that's 40 minutes out. No. Go drive 40 minutes to spend an hour to drive 40 minutes home. That's called time inefficiency.
I would say you think I live near mansions, but I actually do live near mansions. Like, you drive like 10 minutes down, and it's so stupid. There's like 2 40-bedroom houses, mansions. Like on this like little like Hinkydink road. They're like, why would anyone buy this? That's being upgraded, by the way, to like a 6-lane highway. So they fucked up. It's gonna be nothing but sound and noise and shit. And oh god, actually, sometimes really frustrates me just how rich people in my area can be. I'm just like, why would you need that many rooms? Why? You have to clean all of them too? That's just more money spent on maids. This is useless.
So, sorry about that quick soundbite to the stream for like a fraction of a second there. Twitter did that thing where like it auto-loaded a video as I had opened Twitter. It's like, cool. Where's this sound coming from? Well, Zombie was talking, and I rudely interrupt her for not on purpose reasons. We got a $5 donation coming in from... Who is this? If only Queens had more range. I can't even... I don't even want to read anything else beyond that point. That was the greatest joke I've read today. You've won. Congratulations. Just go home. Back it up. Nothing else to see here today, Zombie. He or she says, if only you watch very closely, you can see that the cakes are in fact lemon cakes, which puts Zerg at a severe disadvantage. Blizzard, please fix this immediately.
Lemon cakes for birthday with icing? That's disgusting.
Okay, well, hang on. I'm not going to refute that. But my question is, why would lemon cakes provide a disadvantage to Zerg only? Is this something where like Zerg are some variation of like a slug, and you can't put salt on them, but you can put salt on everything else? Like, I don't understand. Like, how is lemon cake a disadvantage for Zerg?
I don't know. They eat lemons on Fruitland all the time.
By the way, so what's the plan? Are we doing
MaNa versus Dayshi? Yeah, they gave me the maps, and apparently, Naruto said that Seijo okayed the mod. So now I'm just looking for what I have to search for the mod.
It's just called No Cake, I think.
I was trying to look up Joey's Twitter because I know he mentioned it. Let's try looking up No Cake.
I think it is just called No Cake. I don't know.
I'm gonna search it. I'm gonna look for it. No Cake. Author barcode?
It's probably Joey.
Okay.
So I mean, in the worst case scenario, we see something really wacky happen. We can just be like, yeah, guys. Whatever.
Well, if you remember back with the whole reign of like before there was definite LE versions on like ladder search.
Yeah, no, you don't gotta tell me. One of our higher viewed videos on YouTube is when that turret had 500 range, and I was the first one to notice. It's like Take TV, Axel Toss, Emil. There's like 5 other casters in this game, and I'm the only one who noticed there's like a 500 range turret. So they pause the game and they're like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This thing is shooting from your third to the middle of the map.
So I was gonna say the unfortunate thing is that it doesn't actually show itself until way later. Like I was like the two base immortal all-in was happening as we noticed the spine crawler suddenly reached 500 range to kill like a gateway back at his base. So
Yeah.
it was very, very awkward. I felt very, very bad. Anyways.
I want to dispute some stuff being said in chat right now, by the way, before we get into this game. First off, I would love to play competitive. Or not competitive, whichever, with Zombie Grub. That's not the issue, guys. Zombie Grub is perfectly fine to play Overwatch with. And Olivia is a very fun and a perfectly fine and capable person to play Overwatch with. But the problem with rankings in Overwatch is if I queue up as a 64 with a 45 in my group and we lose, I'm quickly going to join that 45 train. And I don't want to, because Overwatch grinding solo queue is really fucking difficult. And as much as I do cherish our friendship, the 7 hours I'll have to spend to make up playing 1 hour of gameplay is kind of like driving 2 hours to hang out for one.
When we played yesterday, we played for like 4 hours, which is very odd because like
I know, it felt bad, man.
An hour in, she was like, I don't feel so good, but she kept on playing. We literally just stayed at the exact same level. It was like frustrating, but also like I guess it could be worse. We literally went like probably 5-5. I didn't keep score, but I just kept on staying right at 55. It was perfect. Anyway.
All right, well, getting back on the StarCraft train and a little bit off Overwatch for the time being. Spawning in the top right in his second PvT today, it's going to be the Blue Protoss, Team Liquid's MaNa.
In the bottom right, as the Red Terran, he is Millennium's Dayshi.
Okay, and brackets, by the way, indicate that this is a qualifying match.
It is, yes, already. Winners, just 2 matches, and they're good to go.
So, there's, of course, the loser's bracket. There's going to be a couple more. But as we said, this is going to be a relatively shorter cast than we expected it would be, at least. So, we'll try and cast as many of the games as we can today. But this will determine one of the first players to guarantee their spot into DreamHack Montreal, and also known as WCS Summer. Quick reminder, by the way, Zombie and myself will be attending the event. We've not been invited to cast or anything like that. We're just going as fans. So, for us as well, it's going to be really awesome to see which players we get to look forward to seeing and meeting while we're there. I know MaNa, I would definitely... I'll just say this as a blanket statement. Like, anybody from Team Liquid is always and will always probably be some of my favorite players to see at events. They're polite, they're awesome, they're very cool, they're super chill, and of course, just good at playing the game. Not to say I wouldn't love to also one day meet players like Dayshi and Thermal and shake their hands and all that. I just, for MaNa and Snoot and whatnot, very, very happy and pleased when Team Liquid members make it to events.
Definitely agree. I would really like it if Welmu made it, because I don't think I've gotten his signature on his WCS card.
Welmu was so funny to meet at Hell It's Every Time, by the way. Like, we've heard him talk, we've had him on for interviews, and we've that with him before, but Welmu's manner of speaking, like, I think it's what, Finnish or whatever, like, their accent is so crazy for English.
He just keeps finishing his sentences.
So, if you ever get a chance to hear them speak, it's always worth it. Calm down there, Rifkin. I'm actually really worried about you. Like, I want to have like a real moment, like intervention with you for a second. I'm gonna use real name here to indicate the severity of this, Jessica. First, you're having crushes all over the place. Now you're making these really horrible jokes on stream. I understand that when you spend time with another person, you know, you start rubbing off on them. But you might want to just check how much Rifkin you're taking in over there. It's getting dangerously Rifkin over there.
I can see like the appeal in the whole like just finding a cute girl and being like, wow, she's really cute. I guess I'm just pickier.
Oh, we never did a cutie of the day yesterday, did we?
Are we really doing a cutie of the day? Because I'm like really picky. This is gonna take forever. Anyway,
because I was just gonna link you a picture of a mirror.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do to you.
Okay.
Ew, the flirting is so cringy.
So this, okay, this is gonna get maybe a little hand. The problem is the Marines actually can't deal with the Mothership Core right now. There's a very unique amount of units in this game that actually require a certain number to deal with other units. Mothership Core needs 3 Marines. 2 and then 1 don't count. You have to have all 3 out at once. The Mothership Core lives long enough to get the overcharge off. It's going to break the reactor of all things, such an expensive and hard to replace building because of the time it takes to build a new one. The Cyclone should salvage the situation, but there's already been some pretty nasty damage.
I don't even think it would.
Actually,
yeah,
SCVs.
3 units. It's good at killing 1, maybe 2.
Oh, Dayshi's in trouble.
That's actually 4 units. Yeah, he is. So I was gonna add, there's an Oracle on the way, which means it's now 5 units that the Adept or the Cyclone has to take care of. But this is something that is, I think, it's MaNa, right? And he is still the guy that's using this on, like, on a daily, regular basis, this Pylon Rush.
Yo!
It's also,
Free
it's
kills!
Dayshi. And Dayshi, it always seems to be his mentality that kills him. You start a game 1 off like this, and he's just like, fucking Protoss, because that's what we're doing right now, like, fucking Protoss. And either he exacts his revenge and feels great about himself, or he continues kind of down like this downward spiral, and it's really about that I'm most paying attention to. Not even necessarily like his Dayshi on form with his play, but just like his mentality there.
Well, with the command
I'm glad
center
he
being
didn't just
pushed
tap
off.
out immediately. I think that could have been a possibility as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Cyclones, you have no health.
Cyclones really do have no health. They get some nice shots off on the Adepts, but unfortunately, as we see, that's cleanup crew time. Liberator sets up, but it's not going to be able to do much. I mean, the Oracles could die, but it's already so much damage done at this point. 18 workers dead, and no cakes, thanks to that mod. This game looks like it is pretty much MaNa's. There we go. Game 1 goes to MaNa.
I think this second game's going to say a lot. Either Dayshi gets something done, and it's just like, yeah, like, killed that Protoss, or he loses again. I can't actually see him coming back from a 2-0. Unfortunately.
So here's the thing about this matchup that I find so irritating. It's actually nothing to do with these little pylon things that are going down here, and has not much to do with the actual balance of units individually, but just, again, if abused correctly, either race, like, how to phrase this, MaNa has the ability to proxy and do bullshit like that. Dayshi doesn't really. The problem with like Terran is like you don't have that same level of I can just proxy something and shut you down. MaNa can with the pylons, obviously. I do want to point out though that pylon push doesn't always work. Oh, we didn't use the cake mod. Are we remaking?
Habits. It's also not recently played mod. There we go.
Okay.
So okay.
Sorry, to finish up my thought there though, the thing I was just going to say, though, is if that pylon push worked every single game, you'd see players do it every single game. It doesn't. Bunkers can shut it down, depending on the map as well. Like, it doesn't actually reach in all maps, so I don't know. It was a dirty opener out of MaNa, and I bet you'll put Dayshi on tilt.
Yeah. I do, like, really, I think the frustration is not so much that, yeah, it comes from them, but we like the Terran can't do much back. I mean, proxies exist. It's all from BCQD, but they're not quite the same. Oh, go.
All right, so no cakes as we get into New Gettysburg. Load up this map. Still one of the newer maps. I'm glad New Gettysburg has turned out to be pretty decent. The concern was, like, I really like this in the map contest, and we thought, like, there's no way, like, the air blockers will make it through. But the modified version's been pretty good so far. I do wonder, though, whether, like, how long it'll take for us to get to the point where we're seeing those island bases taken in any of these games. Like, hypothetical here for a moment, if Dayshi had lifted his command center to the island base instead of taking the natural normally, he wouldn't have actually necessarily died that game. Given the option for a map, I'm sorry, I'm just to describe like the differences here. Obviously, we didn't play on New Gettysburg before, so I don't know. Again, it's not something that's happening right now, but if these pylon busts and all-ins kept happening over and over, we might actually see that at some point, which would be cool. But right now,
take my base over here.
Right? Well, right now, I guess it's just going to stay to like a late game expansion type thing. At any rate, game number 2 underway, ladies and gentlemen. Spawning here in the bottom right side. He's down 1 game. Playing for Millennium. It's the red Terran player, Dayshi.
In the bottom left as the blue Protoss, he is MaNa.
So, again, just reminding everybody that this is a qualifier match. There's actually quite a bit on the line for it. This isn't just a simple walk in the park through the brackets. But with the double elimination format, there is also a bit of leeway to lose. So, again, while Dayshi may not look super fantastic after that first game, and MaNa, let's say, hypothetically does 3-0 and qualify through, then yay, but Dayshi can still fight in the lower bracket.
Yeah. It does seem to be like, so taking away from Dayshi for a little bit and talk about just Terrans in general, and especially the Terrans that are in this qualifier. You do have, I think, Marine Lord and Euthermal both publicly stating that they're frustrated with Protoss right now, and well, Dayshi commonly does. I think Hero Marine and Bunny are a little less vocal, but if you ask them straight up, they do have their opinions as well. And I think the general opinion is that Protoss is frustrating to deal with. It may not be the most like IMBA matchup ever, and it's not like 60% win rate or anything like that, but especially if the Protoss is doing things like this to kind of put you on tilt, you're gonna just look at the bracket, see you have a Protoss, and be like, well, I guess I'm over anyway.
Yeah, I guess I'm out of the tournament now.
Yeah, which is like literally what was happening in the first stage of these qualifiers. I know Thermal didn't think he was gonna get through, so it's a pretty bleak atmosphere for foreigner Terrans right now. They're still making it through. I'm not like saying they're terrible or anything like that, but it seems like the whole morale thing is pretty low.
I just want to point out too, like even if we were to say for hypothetical, like okay, it's foreigners though, right? Only foreigners are struggling right now. That's actually not the case. You got Super Terran Bonds was like Beyond and some others who really are struggling with the TVP matchup. And it's funny because I can relate Beyond, I think, a little bit back more to these players than, say, somebody like TY or Maru. Like, those are, like, completely different players. Like, the whole nother, like, god tier that we can't even comprehend. But people like Dayshi, people like Euthermal, people like Beyond, these are folks who are so freaking good at this game, constantly display good micro, good macro, and struggle with this same matchup. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to say and assess, like, where this is balance-wise, but it definitely, on the scale of things we cast, feels a little bit Protoss favored.
Well, Dayshi opens up with the closest thing he can do to get revenge is not the proxy barracks, but rather a one base like medevac drop of some type. This isn't a company about Hellions, which can get very tricky. It is just the one base Widow Mine, which I don't want to say is like the easier of the two, but it is like one attack versus 1.5 attacks. The two Hellions going to the natural. And, I guess it's up to the Protoss to say if it's easier or not. But, I mean, the idea here is that hopefully the Observer isn't out, so the Widow Mine leads to like 2 shots, or there's not enough units, and you can actually, like, collapse in on them. Especially without a pylon on the natural, this actually could be an opportunity for Dayshi, as he, drops right on top of those Stalkers. But don't go up the ramp. Oh, God.
Well, it doesn't quite get the Widow Mine either. He'll bait it out with the probe at least, so that's nice. MaNa will be able to control this a bit. The damage done here fairly minimal out of Dayshi. This could have been way worse for MaNa, but 5 kills is still 5 kills, and gets out of there with the medevac most importantly.
Yeah, I would put it in the not bad category. He might be able to get a few more because the medevac did live, and the command center, it's down, it's ready to go, and he's got production on the way too. But it's not great either. Like the greatest thing to happen is you kill both Stalkers, and Widow Mine gets 5 probes. And maybe even more. But
well, now here's the problem too. Counterattack comes across the map, and marching from MaNa is an observer with it, so there's not going to be those lucky Widow Mine hits back at home to keep you alive. Those will probably be the first things to get focused.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Just to go up a ramp, and there's going to be a Raven in a second here, but only for an auto turret. That'll help, but I think it's more about the point defense drone eventually. Oh no, the observer. I thought he was going to talk about that medevac actually.
Same, but still a Marine, not a bad pickup. The Cyclone's going to be annoying. This will eventually get Stalker kills, unless it gets focused really quick, then never mind, JK!
God, didn't even get one. Doesn't have the scan, because the Raven saw, of course, but there's the War Prism in the main base.
Yep. So fighting on 2 different fronts, and he doesn't really have the ability to do either. He needs to be able to find a way to consolidate this. Auto turret might help out a little bit, but an auto turret won't stop this.
He's got to put it on the edge, try and get the War Prism, but doesn't do anything with the Raven.
Natural base just lifted. Dayshi down. Several workers.
This is really game. I feel like a bunker would have helped for sure at the front. But this is also just really this is really nice for MaNa to recognize this huge potential.
He has struggled with this matchup in the past too. I want to point that out. So again, really good for multiple different reasons if you're a MaNa fan.
Oh my god.
No, he drops the mule. The save!
I don't even know. Like, saving the command center is one thing, but already taking so much damage is another. So he does back off with the Stalkers.
If MaNa follows up with the Dark Shrine, like that Raven going down would have been just perfect.
That would have been disgusting. Oh god. But yeah, like I in a way I'm cheering for MaNa because MaNa has not been exactly like, you know, he's had his own little like dark spell.
Still
He lost
burning.
at the Ting qualifiers and he was actually like tweeting some pretty sad stuff and whatnot. But it's also like Protoss. Their next is about to finish. Blink's on the way.
Do you recall the map order? Is the third map Frozen Temple by chance?
I don't recall it.
Because I was gonna say, if we could see Dayshi try and execute that thermal push, and maybe bring this back like
I don't
2-1.
know. It seems like Protoss have figured that out. And maybe it's being done all the time on ladder. I don't know. European ladder. So I don't even know if he could do that.
Well, 3 Medevac's gonna make a desperate push in the middle of the map, but MaNa is gonna intercept.
No! No! No!
Even then, just picking off the Medevacs alone is gonna be pretty devastating. With all the folks fighting the Stalkers, the Marauders are getting shelled away at by that Immortal, and it's going to pick up some really easy kills. Now, he does stim past us around away, but...
That wasn't actually so bad. I really thought because they're going to come at one at a time, the Immortal was going to, like, get rid of the Marauders super quickly, and...
it still kind of did.
It was enough. It was a good trade for MaNa, but Dayshi, if all 3 of those Medevacs don't do, like, literally anything, I think it just taps out right there, right? At least they kind of survived long enough. Oh, it's so bad, though, that supply.
The turret comes down at a sheer paranoia. It'll be really nice to be able to kill that Observer, of course, but 6 Stalkers warping in at a time in the middle. We got the 2 Immortals paired with this, and of course that Warp Prism to help micro everything and anything around. The army supply here for Dayshi is just it's 9 Marines and 2 Marauders, 1 Medevac, 1 Viking against the many of anything MaNa had made. MaNa can make freaking Zealots without charge at this point and probably still be like, okay, I got enough units, let's go to the mineral line. You can kill me slowly.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
This is game.
Sure, it's first thing to go. Yeah, Murata's going to try their best. And Dayshi, I mean, goddamn, he's not going to go down without a fight. SCVs get pulled, command centers lifted, but it's still not going to be enough. The force field keeps the Marauders out of the fight. They can't even get in range. Feels bad, man.
It does. Dear God, there it is. GG.
All right, game 2 goes to MaNa. And quick shout-outs to Manajuana. Great name. Resub for 6 months. Sorry we missed it. Gonna go to commercial break though, guys. We'll get game 3 set up ASAP. We'll see you soon. Alright guys, we're about 5 seconds on that from finishing perfectly, but we did get into the game at the early part of it, so you haven't missed anything. Ladies and gentlemen, game 3, and what could be the deciding point. You know what, let's swap those scores around, make that look a little bit better on the overlay. Game 3, and what could be the deciding point to qualify this guy through. In the bottom right, it's going to be the red Protoss, Team Liquid's MaNa.
In the upper left, the blue Terran, we have Millennium's Dayshi. We also have a bracket update, I guess. So...
Do we, though?
Yeah, so apparently one of the competitors today is actually already invited. Thermal replaced Peely Peely, so...
Oh, well, now he doesn't have to play with terrible lag through the qualifiers.
Well, I think he already 3-0'd Monado, just when updated.
So that's that awkward moment where you're like, well, does the Monado come back to fight, or does his opponent, Namshar or Whelmu, just automatically qualify through, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have to. They're gonna try and find him, but if Monado like really just like logged off and goes cries in his bed, he's like he's screwed.
I mean, no disrespect to Monado, I kind of feel like either of those other players beat him though, like either Namshar or Whelmu.
But he just had the losers bracket, so really should be around.
That's true, yeah. But okay, that's cool. I know because there's another issue. Was it Major also? Or is
He's currently still attending. No, it is the same. It's the same tournament.
Yeah.
Or no, wait a minute. Maybe you're right. It's actually nothing to do with this bracket then. No, it is Shanghai. My bad. This is for Montreal. That is for Shanghai. Okay. I was gonna say this is very awkward.
So the
brackets just aren't updated. Yeah. So the thermal should be in the quarterfinals though. And the bracket's not updated.
Okay, yeah, because the brackets just have been not updated
so
for a lot of
Shanghai, Major's going, Peely Peely's not, and now Thermal's also going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now getting back a point for this game, we got that tech lab came down pretty quick. The factory's finishing up, going to transfer over. This could just be for the Cyclone that we've seen consistently out of Dayshi so far, but I really would hope to see it be that tank push. Again, whether it's been figured out or not, the tank, the bunker, and the cyclone, followed up by that liberator, are all really, really good moves on this map specifically. But I do bring it back to the point that you brought up, where maybe this has been seen too many times, and MaNa knows how to deal with it. But it's going to be cyclone first, so strike all of that. We're not going to get to see that really cool push.
No, and it you know, maybe Dayshi never was one to do it. Maybe it is just you figure MaNa has enough to deal with it. So
well, that Marine going down is a bad start. I was going to mention, though, if Dayshi were to do something really radical, like throw on Magfield Accelerator right now, I'd be super hype. Because maybe we'd see it used better or differently than the way Beastie did. But unfortunately, I do think it's just a paranoia cyclone coming down. And he's going to be trying to play, safe/scared.
Yeah. The other thing is the Cyclone could be defensive and offensive, so it's gonna try and chase his adept.
I'd reclassify that more as like defensive/harassive. Like, you say offensive, and I think like a big drop coming down or some awesome attack.
Oh, that was very dangerous to go through.
Yeah, he's waiting
like
for that
lock-on's not getting back on.
Ooh, the adepts. I actually think they could have killed it. He had the high ground advantage over here and had that spun around.
Oh, it's oh my god, no!
Rip. That's a huge pick off. There is another Cyclone coming out, but that Cyclone did not trade for anything. I mean, not even a probe. So on one hand, like, nicely done by MaNa, on the other, not so nicely done by Dayshi.
Yeah, and there's no bunker, and there's a warp prism on the way. I mean, MaNa has been killing Terrans, not just Dayshi. His last round, too, versus Beastie Cutie. He's been killing Terrans with very minimal dedication, you know. So yeah, he does, you know, push off his forge, and third base isn't the quickest, but it's not like a 7 gateway all in. It's like 3 gateways, a warp prism, and some good micro, like, you know, 1 in the natural, 1 in the main type thing. And the Terrans are having trouble dealing with it, and Daishi's gonna have even more trouble because he's lost a very important unit.
You know what feels terrible, and I really feel bad about every time we get to cast Dayshi, because when the French casters cast him and it's like top dogs in some of these other events, Dayshi gets surprisingly good results. But I feel like every time we've seen Dayshi this year, these have been rather lackluster games out of him. And again, maybe the matchup is really like a monkey on his back, and we're just unlucky with this, but for the most part, like, we still haven't seen that breakout Dayshi performance that we keep seeing the results of in other events.
Yeah. So the Cyclone, this is the ideal, that it locks onto the Warp Prism, and actually, a good thing he started paying attention. He will end up getting it. That is huge, as opposed to just losing the Cyclone like I thought he was going to. And the bunker at the front really helps, too, and this is what really, like, makes MaNa say, okay, I can't do any damage, and then hopefully he just backs off.
He does break the bunker
in the bunker.
First. Yeah, that's
Focus
a bit
fire
of a problem.
Marauder. Doesn't, so it loses to Stalkers, but well.
Back at home, took a little bit of damage, too. Not much, though. Only a few... Frozen down, I guess 11 versus 2. Not crazy dynamics when it comes to work here.
A Banshee.
It's a Banshee without cloak though, so I don't know how much that's really gonna do.
The
double Widow Mines actually look pretty interesting too. On one hand, if there's no observer, these will be fantastic. On the other, if there is, it's not gonna be that great.
Right. I figure with Stim, you'd really prefer having the Metavacs over the Banshee. So it looks very odd.
Blink's finished, by the way, so these Stalkers are rather finishing as we speak.
Just
so
about.
Stalkers are gonna be well equipped.
Heyo. Bicycling.
You just hear the sound, that sound of the lock on, and it's just like kaboom. Like it's like the malfunction, and the Cyclone died to itself. The Widowmine's going to try and burrow, but MaNa, of course, doesn't really mind. He can blink away, as stated. Dayshi trading out all right. Does get the Observer, actually. That was a nice pickoff.
Yeah, especially if this Banshee had Cloak, but it doesn't, so...
And if this
I guess he's a one Widowmine.
If this is a Medevac, too, could have picked up, gone to the main and drops. I don't know, yada, 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 but... I don't know. MaNa's worker count, having been killed the way it was early on, didn't really hurt him. But this is also a game where MaNa has still not taken a third, despite still replacing all these probes.
That's true. And this is, like, again, going back to, like, he's never really super dedicated to an attack, but he does push off, you know, like, the Forge and the third.
It does feel like he is getting super dedicated, though. I mean, that 400 minerals going to be spending on another round of stalker weapons, not another Nexus likely. Although, they might take that back. There we go. Third base gets slapped down.
Yeah.
But no medevacs. Oh my gosh. One single medevac comes in a little bit late. No way for these stim units to stay alive. He does kill a couple of stalkers for his trouble, but not even going to get inside the bunker. There's a sick block, but he gets the... Oh, he can just get the medevacs for this. Screw the bunker.
Yeah, the warpers still live. This is the biggest problem.
Oh, and the depot gets kind of blocked out by the stalkers blinking up, so everything gets here into the main on top of the production line. And if Dayshi pulls all of his workers, it's still not going to amount to enough. 19 army supply to 30. There's a +1 weapons advantage for the Terran, but +1 on like 3 units.
I guess we'll see the MaNa at Montreal.
Yeah. I'll buy that son of a gun of poutine.
Yeah, a lot of stalkers going down as they get a little bit weaker, and the blinks are a little bit, well, I guess they're on cooldown. But this is definitely MaNa's game.
Yeah, a MaNa series. So congratulations on qualifying for DreamHack Montreal, but more importantly, the WCS summer aspect of it. To cap off the game, Swords Noob sets us up with a 27-month resub. He says, nice to be here. Enjoy some StarCraft with Zombie Up. I guess Rifkin has to be here too. Wow. I take back my shout out.
GG.
Congratulations on wasting 27 months worth of $5, you little shitbird.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Hey, Terminator hits us up with a donation as well. $25. He says, I love the smell of blue flame in the morning. You know, one time we had a hive burnt for 12 hours. When it was all over, I walked up. Oh, I walked up. We didn't find one of them. Not one stinking Zerg body. The smell, you know the pre-igniter smell? Smelled like victory. Love the smell of napalm in the morning. All right. Thank you for $25 in that creative adaptation of that speech. We do, of course, once again, would like to congratulate MaNa on qualifying through, but with top 8 spots, everyone today kind of has like a 50% chance of qualifying just based on brackets alone. But yeah, congratulations. Did you thermal start? Hey, did you play Namshar yet? He's not in the game. We may be able to hop into that. TLO and Bunny also may not have started yet. Hey, did you start yet? So we're going to try and find some matches, but we might have 2 really good ones on deck, guys. TVZs either way. We'll see you in 2 minutes.